Well, good morning. Welcome. We're going to have a good chat this morning, and I'm just going to ask you to give us a warm-up. Tell me a little bit who you are.
Well, I'm Fouad. I'm the president and co-founder of Visio Media, and we're a digital elevator advertising company based out of Edmonton.
Digital elevator, is that something like hotels have, or what is a digital elevator?
Similar, what we do is we install Android tablets, so 10.1-inch tablets in elevators for businesses to advertise on and properties to communicate with the residents on the screens.
And who's we?
We're a team of three in Edmonton, and Nicolette, Leonardus, and Boaz, and myself.
How'd you find one another? I mean, that's a three-person team. I mean, are they all high energy?
It is. We're a very interesting collaboration, actually. We both function on different levels, I feel. Nicolette, I met her in university in an economics and law class. And Boaz, we met through mutual friends, and we put this idea together and just started moving on from there.
Okay, so you put tablets in elevators as a form of social marketing, so you make your money off advertising that buy space on that tablet?
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
Are you cash positive yet, or are you still in that struggle?
We launched about 5 months ago with a soft launch with about 20 clients, and now we're integrating into we're just powering the technology basically, and using analytics to provide our clients with data and numbers they can understand.
So you're beyond product development. You're now actually deploying and getting data back from clients?
Absolutely.
So are you really into the analytics industry then?
We think we are. Yeah. We are trying to get in more and more involved. And
well, I see you're listed in this directory. For the audience, a special magazine came out, and the back of it is Analytics Business Directory, which is a listing of all the companies that claim they're delivering analytics services, and you're in here. So what is analytics anyway?
That we do.
Yeah. What is analytics anyway?
Well, analytics in a very general sense is it's how the collection of basically data and information in the world that can help in any different industry. So you can have analytics in the agricultural industry or analytics in marketing, which is what we're involved in. And it basically gives you a better understanding of the consumer and customers and how to acquire them better. Okay,
so here at the conference I've heard through the first couple of keynotes that gathering data is one thing and making it into information is another, but even more complex is getting people to use it. In other words, having product, even if the product's called data or information or knowledge or intelligence, human beings don't naturally pick this stuff up. So do you find that a challenge in the sales or in the support maintenance for your clients?
Absolutely. There's a lot of data everywhere, and it's just what we choose to do with it. You can have a huge room filled with piled reports that no one uses. It's like having books that no one reads, right? And then it's about what you make with that data to improve your knowledge in that industry, or to improve a better, for example, in the marketing industry, to have a better branding campaign or a better marketing campaign when you understand your customer best.
Okay, so you're in this channel that starts in the collection of data or even identifying data that might have value to someone and then packaging in such a way, putting it out on the screen or putting it out in reports, but actually getting people to use it. And that's really where you're at. You're at that latter stage of actually doing the conversion between I'm a company that has value but I don't have any customers. And what you're helping me do then is get access to customers in the market.
Exactly. Get customers in the market and understand which customers are engaging with your advertisement, which customers are engaging with your product or service, rather than just the old shotgun approach we use where splatter your message over different types of media.
Now, I would think, you're putting messages in an elevator, so you must have some idea of actually who uses elevators. There's a market. Do you know that? Do you have that information? Who uses elevators?
Absolutely. There's obviously two different industries, and one is the residential market, and one is the commercial market. So you have people that reside in their homes and have condos, and you have people that are actual tenants and have corporate offices and high-rise properties. So there are two different industries, two different real estate industries, but sometimes they're combined together and they're integrated because you have someone that lives in a condo downtown and works in the office downtown. So
interesting. Now you started out in elevators for some reason. There's a huge market out there. I mean, I know you got a little bit of real estate in your background. Is that what led you to decide this was a void that needed help?
Yes, and we saw that it's an untouched market. It's very there's a lot of elevators that are available, and it's a lot of time that people spend in elevators.
Right.
And just think of all this focused attention you get in an elevator when you have nothing else to look at.
But it's sort of a passive experience. I mean, I'm in an elevator 3 minutes max or whatever. Right now, it's a passive experience. You're making it a little bit more dynamic. You're feeding something to them.
Feeding information, educating the elevator rider about whether it's about their property or what's going on, or about the local coffee shop that's right around the corner, or about just...
So are you stuck in elevators, or are you looking at other markets?
Mainly we started in elevators because of the niche market, but then we got more and more involved in the advertising world and in marketing.
Okay.
So
that's one of your core processes or core strengths, is
Yes.
understanding advertising.
Absolutely, and the software that allows us to basically have an ad server that can basically display ads in any market.
And that's pretty quick?
It is.
Somebody knocks on your door and says, I need help and I need help tomorrow. How fast can you respond?
It's pretty instant.
That's good.
We do have a time limit, but then again, it's all done online, remotely, right?
So to succeed is good staff. Sounds like you got a rocking team. Good customers. You said you got a base of 20 and you're just really in your early stages. Do you have any partners, any other companies that you work intimately with?
Well, we've recently partnered up with Vision State, and what they do is they have digital directories at the malls.
At the malls?
At the malls,
shopping
yes.
malls.
At shopping malls. And the beauty about that is they have analytics on how many people actually touch the directories.
Okay.
So right around our alley, and we're more involved in the advertising world from that. So it's really nice that we get to calculate and gather all this information from the mall now, not just from residential elevators, not just from commercial elevators, right?
So how's that partnership working out? I mean, so a lot of people tell me, whether it be a marriage or business partnerships, that they're very difficult to manage. How's this one working out?
It's been a very, very interesting, very good team, very good collaboration, I feel, because of both of our understandings of kind of separate markets,
right?
But at the same time,
the advertising is a common process.
Exactly. So
did they see that the data that they were carrying was actually putting them in the analytics world, or was that something new that you brought into the relationship?
It's about, again, like we mentioned, it's about what you want to do with that data.
Okay.
So they could have that data of how many people touch the directories. The malls are interested in that, but it's not that informative, because they want to know how many people are actually shopping at the malls, for example.
Okay.
For an advertising client, this is very interesting data. This is how many people saw their ads, how many people engaged with their ads. So
it sounds to me, I mean, analytics big time, whether you speak about agriculture or healthcare or real estate, is about using data for improved decision making. And one of the challenges, of course, is to get people who you want to help improve their decision making to opt in. And therein lies the big challenge. Now, is that the challenge you see?
Having people opt into
and decide, I want to use data. I want to be better. I want to do better than I'm doing today.
For sure. As you know, we have that curve where some people are usually jump into it and want to be the leaders in that industry. Early adopters, exactly. And then after the early adopters use this data and it works for them, and they're getting absolutely amazing results, then you have a lot of other industries or other people in the market that want to join in and want to start using. So as long as you get good results from something, right?
So we know a little bit about Visio Media and your relationships with, like, Vision State, for example. And you've got partners in the market. I know of that through the Alberta Council of Technologies and the seances that are carried on where we meet spirits and meet new people. Tell me more about you. I mean, you're obviously enthusiastic. You got a tiger by the tail. How'd you get into this business?
Well, I started off in university as a petroleum engineer, just because I thought this is what I wanted to do, and then moved into the School of Business and started studying economics. And shortly after that, I got into real estate and land development. And I found it a very, very interesting market, especially in Alberta, where we reside right now. And shortly after that, I just saw a huge gap in the market where elevators were just an untouched base, an untouched market for advertising, for sending out information. So we jumped on that opportunity.
Now, had you formed your partnership of three by that time, or you a lone wolf?
I was alone at that time, actually, and then we moved in, growing our team. And
How'd you bring them together? How'd you find them?
we talked about it, and our visions really aligned. Boaz works a lot in the tech world, and Nikki, for example, we took a class together, and we'd spend like long nights working and studying.
Right.
And then I'd tell her a bit more about this idea that we had,
Right.
and at the same time with Boaz, and then we decided to put it together after a little bit.
So it's sweat equity, or did you actually have to put cash on the table?
So far, it's been sweat equity, and it's going further from
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know a little bit more about you before you even got into this. You've got that enthusiasm. You have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have one younger brother. He's actually in his first year of university,
Right.
and I have an older sister.
They as enthusiastic and entrepreneurial as you are?
They are, but not as much. They're I wouldn't say they're very big risk takers, but at the same time, that's not always a bad thing, right?
So what do they think about you?
They really like it. They enjoy it. Actually, they're very helpful. They're very.
So you're the middle child in the
I
family?
am the middle child. You guessed it.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's social networking, that desire to please others and to serve. I mean, you're in the service business in essence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where's your family from?
My family is originally Palestinian.
Okay.
And we live
Palestine. That's near Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yes.
Tennessee, down in the southern state U.S. We're Palestine. Now that's someplace in the Middle East, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In the Middle East.
So your parents immigrated
Yes.
to the Arctic Circle.
They came to Canada.
Right.
Yes, to Edmonton actually, and then they moved back to the United Arab Emirates. And then I graduated from the United Arab Emirates high school, and then I moved to Alberta.
So you both got skiing in common. They ski on sand, we ski on whatever.
Exactly,
They ski in
on
bikinis
snow.
and we ski. Uh-huh.
There
You ever
you
think
go.
about going back?
I do. I'm a big follower of where there's a lot of opportunity, and I found a great opportunity in Alberta. And
I
in
was going to
Edmonton,
ask
and
about
this is,
Alberta. I mean, this is not. I came in from New York City, and people ask me, "My goodness, why would anybody from New York City want to live in the Arctic?"
Yeah.
Which is a rather extreme statement. But I mean, I've got my own opinions, and obviously now that I'm a Canadian citizen, which took 40 years of decision making, I didn't have the analytics. But you've made a commitment to Canada for a reason.
For sure. Well, other than the obvious friendly opportunity business, basically everyone I met, everyone I'm trying to do business with is very friendly, very open.
Okay.
The government in itself and everything has been so supportive
Right.
of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We have home bases like Startup Edmonton, we have Tech Edmonton that are always helping entrepreneurs to get started.
You think
and
they really
get-
work? I mean, I've heard there was an article today in the National Post on incubators and accelerators, as they're called. They say it's just rocking. That the accelerators are growing at an accelerated pace. And you've come out of one, or you're in one right now.
We're in one right now, actually.
I used to call them real estate deals. They
Yeah.
just take your money every month as a low-cost rent,
Now it's,
and nothing much happens.
Yeah, now it's actually like I don't know if I'm hearing about it and knowing I'm getting more about it because I'm more involved in it,
Right.
or it's because it's a growing
Okay.
industry. So, but I really feel that it's helped a lot in networking and meeting the right people. It's some people that it would take you about 6 months to get in touch with.
Okay.
It can happen in a few days.
So there's a phrase, and you've heard me mutter it during our seances, is knowledge without relationships has no value.
Exactly.
So these have helped you build the relationships, whether they would be customers or other suppliers or bankers or whomever. That incubation is a way to get you introduced to that whole chemistry that you need to survive.
That whole world, yes. And as you said, your network is your net worth,
Yeah.
and it's
Your
all
network
about-
is your net worth. That's good.
Yeah, for
Coin
sure.
that. Your network is your net worth. I like that. Did you invent that yourself?
No, I would love to take credit for it, but I read it somewhere.
See, I
so-
never thought you were selfish. You're a sharer. Good for you. Good for you. I'm proud of watching the energy that I see come out of Nicolette and yourself. And it's been delightful to meet you.
Us
and,
too.
if there's anything, what's that? Give me 10 minutes or 10 seconds. I got a guy who's asking for help over here. That means 10, 9, 8, 7. Anyway, you want to ask me any questions? We've been working together for a while.
For sure, and again, back to saying that it's absolutely a pleasure being involved in all that, and
tell 'em about the
having
seances?
a lot of support and the seances, the meeting of the spirits, a lot of good networking. We had a lot of laughs, and about ABC Tech, I believe this is the second ABC, the analytics conference is the second year. This is happening,
Yeah.
and Yeah, so how did this get started? Why did
They'll have to tune in to hear more about that.
Sounds
So,
good. Sounds
I'm
good.
delighted.
I'm just keeping them excited for the next episode. So,
Thanks for joining us. It was delightful to meet with you this morning and to meet with the audience.
thank you, Perry. Thank you very
take care.
much.
Bye, guys.
Join the conversation next year as more cities become data-driven. Become a community partner. Contact us at info@abctech.ca.